Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of BTD6. Let's start a new series. I'm gonna do a hero's guide and tutorial, a series, exactly like I did for all the towers and all the different monkeys. I'm gonna do the same for the heroes. Probably Ninja Kiwi is gonna continue to add new heroes to the game, and also in the next patches, the heroes may be buffed or nerfed. In the next, I don't know, maybe a couple of months, some heroes may not be exactly as I described them in these videos, but yeah, whatever. Let's start with Quincy. I have deactivated Monkey Knowledge to show you the hero as it is by itself. And Monkey Meadow Sandbox in medium, here we go. So you can see already Quincy, like the base cost is 540. Of course, in hard and in poppable, Quincy cost is higher, but despite that, Quincy is a hero with Azili, is the only hero in the game that you can place in chimps. So you can start chimps with Quincy or with Azili. So it's the cheapest hero in the game, I think. And now you can see here his base stats. So his range is quite large, to be honest. Like, look at comparing it to a Dark Monkey. So it's nice. His damage is 1 layer, so he's gonna shoot arrows, and each arrow is gonna have 1 layer of damage. The attack speed is pretty okay, it's pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's low attack speed or high attack speed, is pretty much the same, pretty average. And then piercing finally is 2. So level 1 Quincy has 2 of piercing. That means that you can pop up to 3 different Bloons. Also, as it says here. Now, as a special abilities, Quincy is gonna shoot arrows. That means that you don't have lead popping power, so Quincy cannot pop lead Bloons, but can pop all the other Bloons. Quincy does not have camo detection right off, and as a special property, so a thing that only he has, the arrows that he shoots are gonna like bend in the air, and they're gonna try, seek out, and pop as many Bloons as they can. So pretty much like a Seek and Shuriken effect. It's quite identical, and so that's the special property, so the special thing of Quincy. Now I'm gonna go through all the levels first, just explaining each one of them, what you gain and so on, and then at the end I'm gonna just give you my thoughts about the hero and the strengths and weaknesses, and yeah. So let's go. Level 2 is just an increase in pierce, so from 2 to 3 pierce, so up to 4 different Bloons at once with each arrow, and that's it. Level 3, you unlock Quincy first ability that is called Rapid Shot, and when you activate it, it's gonna triple the attack speed of Quincy for a short period of time. Now, this ability, how it works, it has been changed in the last patch, or maybe the patch before last one. I don't remember exactly. And now you can see that when you click the ability, there's gonna be some light. That means that Quincy is attacking faster, just for about 3 seconds, and then the cooldown. Now the cooldown is very long. You can see now I'm going fast forward, but still it's recharging quite slow. Now the thing that they have changed in the last few patches is the fact that now, as Quincy levels up, the cooldown decreases and the ability lasts longer. Now I'm pretty sure that the ability lasts longer. I'm not entirely sure that the cooldown is reduced, but if I remember correctly, that's how it worked last time. And so, for example, here, if I unlock Quincy level, level 14, before the actual increase in the ability, I think is level 14. Here, before buffing his level 3 ability, you can see that now if I do use the ability, I'm gonna have always the slow forward button, Now if I click on the ability, look at how much the ability is going to last. See that it's lasting more than 3 seconds. It's lasting about I don't know, maybe 6 seconds, so almost double the amount of time. And the cooldown, if I click fast forward, I know it seems quite slow, but maybe it's slightly faster. I don't know. I'm not totally convinced that the cooldown also gets reduced as Quincy levels up, but definitely the ability lasts longer. So that was just an insight on Quincy ability, level 3 ability. So let's continue on. Level 4 is just a very small increase in the range. It's very small, like 1-2 units maybe. So that's it. Then level 5, Quincy gains camo detection. So once Quincy hits level 5, you can start attacking and damaging camo Bloons. So this is quite good because in this way you're not gonna need like a village to give camo detection to Quincy, but you have already camo detection with the hero itself. Level 6, Quincy is gonna shoot 2 arrows at a time, so at once. And this works exactly the same as the shuriken from the ninja. Once you unlock 2 shurikens with the ninja, and yeah, it's the same, so you have pretty much double the amount of damage that you do. Now level 7, yeah, another important level for Quincy, because you unlock every 3 at the 3rd attack, Quincy is gonna fire an exploding arrow. Now this exploding arrow has every mechanic as an explosive shot, and so it's gonna have lead popping power. So with this upgrade you gain lead popping power. So once Quincy hits level 7, you have camo and lead popping power. So the 2 main weaknesses of Quincy, because of the fact that the arrows couldn't detect camo Bloons and pop lead Bloons, with Quincy level 7 you can attack camo Bloons and you can pop lead Bloons. Now this exploding arrow is going to be just every 3 hits, so every 3 at the 3rd shot of Quincy, but nonetheless it's something that you can use to pop lead Bloons, especially earlier on in the game. Now this exploding arrow is going to have exactly double damage than the basic arrows. So when you shoot when you're shooting this exploding arrow, you're shooting as well the basic arrows. So you're shooting 3 arrows at once when you every 3 attacks, and so yeah, that's how it works. Now level 8 is pretty much triple damage to mob class Bloons. Here if I spawn a mob and I reset the pops, you can see the damage of Quincy being 2, 4 and then 8. So this 8 is because you're shooting both the basic arrows and the exploding arrow, so that's why it goes up to 4. That's 2 layers of damage with the basic arrows and then 2 layers of damage with the exploding arrow. So that's how it works. Now if you get Quincy level 8, you triple pretty much the damage. So now it's gonna be 6, 12, 24 and so on. So that's just damage to mob class Bloons. Then level 9, an increase to the pierce, so from 3 to 5, so up to 6 different targets. Level 10, you unlock Quincy's 2nd ability and final ability, a storm of arrows, and it's gonna cover a large area in a deadly rain of arrows. So this is pretty much an ability that you cannot really click and like drag it, so you cannot choose the target area at which this ability is going to land. This ability is always going to land on the first Bloon in the screen. So for example here, if I spawn a ceramic, a Moab and a BFB and I use the ability, for example I'm going to use it right now, see that the arrows are going to only fall down on the first Bloons. Now these arrows are gonna damage only the Bloons that are hit by the arrows. So you can see that there is a little like animation here, and the arrows sometimes are not gonna really hit everything. They're gonna have some spots where the arrows are not gonna fall, and on those spots you're not gonna be damaging the Bloons. Now level 11, more attack speed. Level 12, 1 more of piercing. So now the total piercing is 6. So 7 bloons, up to 7 different bloons with each arrow. Level 13, another small range increase, very small, another like maybe this time 3 units. Level 14 is 4 times more damage to mob class bloons, so from 3 times more damage to 4 times more damage. Then level 15 is a buff to Quincy own ability. So now Rapid Shot is gonna give 4 times more attack speed instead of 3 times, and the cooldown also is reduced. Level 16, more attack speed to the basic attacks. Level 17, this is quite interesting because this is gonna be an increase in the lifespan of the projectile. So each arrow is gonna fly and is gonna last in the screen for longer. So if you have, for example, Quincy very far away, for example, imagine Quincy right here, normally the arrows would not last past this point, so after this point they like expire, but with this level now they're gonna last 25% more. So you count this amount of length, you do 25%, so it's like 1/4, and then you add it to the total, so now the arrows can fly longer. So that's pretty much what this means. It's not an increase in piercing. Level 18 is a buff to Quincy level 10. So Storm of Arrows now reduce cooldowns, 50% more arrows, and faster attack speed, so the arrows should come down faster. Now I don't know if this faster attack speed applies to the arrows or to applies to Quincy basic attack speed. I don't really know, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that's how it works. Then level 19, extra 2 piercing, so now the total piercing of Quincy, so the maximum piercing becomes 8, so up to 9 different bloons. And you can see it here, if I spawn 9 blue bloons, you can see that no arrows are gonna fly through, so that's the maximum piercing possible. And finally, the very last level of Quincy, level 20, another buff to his level 10. Storm of Arrows now deals increased damage per arrow, and you have even more arrows. So the final ability looks like this. So it's gonna last longer. You can see more arrows, more damage, and that's it. So those were all the levels of Quincy. Now the strengths and weaknesses of Quincy. Now I think that his main strength is gonna be the base cost. The base cost is very low. It's the cheapest tower in the game, and so you can place him in as the first tower, even in champs. And the fact that his special property is something like a seek and shuriken effect, you can really pop more bloons than what you would with a normal tower, because the arrows are gonna like turn in the air and they're gonna try to pop as many bloons as they can. So it's very good in the early game. Also because of the fact that with this level 5, so pretty quickly you're gonna unlock camo detection, so you're not gonna have to worry about camos. You're gonna not need to like place a ninja or to get village or so on. Then with this level 7 you can pop lat bloons, so yeah, again another I think very useful, especially early on in the game. And the exploding arrow is not gonna only pop layers, but it's also gonna increase the overall damage that Quincy does. So yes, not bad. And now the main weakness of Quincy, in my opinion, is his late game. Because of the fact that in all his levels, the only thing you really gain is piercing, but you don't gain any damage. So the arrows, even at level 20, the basic arrows are gonna do 1 layer of damage each. So that's very a small amount. And you can see here, like for example, spawning 9 fortified ceramics. So after round 80, you can how much Quincy is gonna struggle against these ceramics. So look at this. Like I haven't even popped the external layer yet. And so definitely, like his main weakness is super strums. So the very late game, where there are a lot of ceramics and a lot of bloons, he's gonna really fall behind, and he's not gonna really be able to clean up. And yeah, Now he has though some upgrades in terms of damage down to mob class Bloons, so that's extra damage to mobs, and so you can use him if you want like a tower to pop mob layers faster. But again, in the very late stages of the game against 45 mobs, he's gonna struggle as well, and that extra damage to mobs is not gonna be that relevant. Another weakness that I think about it is the fact that, well, his early cooldowns are quite long, so you need to be careful when you use his abilities. And the other thing is that in his kit, so in all these levels and like abilities, he doesn't have any like sort of CC or something like to slow down the Bloons or to stun them or to yeah, that kind of stuff. So he's not gonna buff other towers, and he's not gonna apply any CC to the Bloons. He's not gonna have anything to like place on the path, something that can last multiple rounds, or the like for example Obin's wall of trees, something that can stay on the screen and can tank Bloons. And yeah, so overall my opinion of Quincy is that yes, now that Obin has been nerfed, definitely is one of the heroes that you want to look for in chimps, but don't really rely a lot on him. So don't rely on his damage. Even at level 20, he's at level 10, he's not gonna do that much damage against super ceramics. So definitely can be used early. He's very strong early, but then he falls off late game. So you have to be careful about the strategy you're using, so that you can survive the early game of chimps, and then in the late game you have other towers that can do the damage. So that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and see ya. Bye bye.